Okay, guys, I know you may not be watching this on a Friday, but happy Friday. It's Friday. But you may be seeing this on a Monday. So my apologies, but I'm excited that it's Friday. So I am going to introduce sight reading, which is an important part of choir. For those of you that are just starting in 7th grade, or for those of you that are in first period at the high school, and you've been doing it with me for a while, sight singing is something that it doesn't always come easy for us, and sometimes it takes a lot of practice and work. Actually, always it takes a lot of practice to get it. But when I'm talking about sight reading, I'm talking about using pitch names to be able to look at a melody and sing it. And I'm pointing here, but I don't have a melody up. So for example, if you have heard of those pitches do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and do, those are the names that we use for pitches when we sight sing. And so for example, I'm just going to sing a scale using solfege. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Do, mi, so, mi, do. So I was skipping around in that last little bit. The first part I went up by step and came back down, and then I skipped and went up and came back down. That's just me singing the pitches. What we are going to learn, or review for those of us that have been doing this for a while, is how to look at notes on a staff and sight sing those using do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and do. In order to do that, though, we got to start at the basics. And I know some of you know how to do this, and it's super easy. Some of you have never done this before. So we are going to start with a very basic level, so everybody is on a level playing field. Okay? So we are going to start with a rhythm. And rhythm are the long and short sounds and silences in music. And when I'm talking about sounds, I'm talking, those are shown by notes in music. And when I talk about silences, those are shown by rests. By the way, I'm writing this up on my whiteboard. I would like for you to turn in your choir binder into the notebook section, and I want you to copy this down. Even if you already know this, okay? It's good practice, good review. So rhythm is long and short sounds and silences in music, long and short notes and rests, okay? So we're going to take a look at some notes and some rests today, but I wanted to point out a few basic things to you. When we are talking about rhythm only, without pitch, meaning what you would sing, okay, how high or low a sound is, we are just looking, I'm just going to look at what we call measures. When we're talking about rhythm, there's no need to use a music staff because the notes won't have pitch if we're just doing rhythm only, okay? So I want to point out a couple of things to you. First of all, if you are not familiar with the two numbers stacked on top of each other at the beginning of a piece of music, that is referred to as a meter signature, and you need to know this, okay? Meter signature, what that does is it tells us how many beats are in every measure, and I'm going to tell you what a measure is. You will need to know this for singing, for following along in music. Okay, so a meter signature, by the way, we look at that top number. That is a 4. That tells us that we can have 4 beats of sounds and silences in every measure. Okay, now a measure is a section of music. How do you know what the sections are? Well, that's because they are separated by lines in music called bar lines. These are bar lines. This is also a bar line, but it's actually called a double bar line. So you need to know these are not notes. Some people, if they don't have a music background, sometimes they think those are some kind of a note. But they're just simply lines. The only purpose they have is to separate music into sections called measures, right? I just said that. So a measure is a section of music. You should write that definition down. A section of music separated by bar lines, okay? A section of music separated by bar lines. If you want to know the definition of bar lines, Bar lines are lines that cut the music into sections called measures. Bar lines are lines that cut the music into sections called measures. So here we have our first measure. Right now I don't have any notes or rests in it. It's blank, okay? But this is my first measure. This would be my second measure. This is my third measure. And this is my fourth measure. Now you may be wondering, if you don't know what a double bar line is, a double bar line means it's the end. It means you stop. If I were to take two dots and put them right here, this double bar line becomes a repeat sign. And you will need to know this too. A repeat sign means you go back and you do it again, okay? So you will need to know that. So hop back to the meter signature really quick. Meter signature top number, 4 beats in every measure. So we can put 4 beats worth of music in every measure. And that's as much as each measure can contain. You can't have 5 beats here and 6 beats here and 7 beats here. It has to have 4 beats of sounds and silences. 4 beats, 4 beats, 4 beats. Now, what happens is sometimes the meter signature changes. If this number changes, and we have a 3, then guess what? You're only going to have 3 beats in every measure. 3 beats, 3 beats, 3 beats, 3 beats. If this changes to a 2, 2 beats, 2 beats, 2 beats, 2 beats, okay? Now, sometimes we can have meter signatures like this, like 6/8, okay, where the bottom number is actually changing. I'm not going to get into the bottom number yet. Okay? What I'm concerned with is that top number. What this means is then there will be 6 beats in every measure. Okay? But for our purposes, starting out sight singing or sight reading, sometimes we call it sight singing too, we are going to use our basic common meters, which would be 4/4, 2/4, 3/4. Those are the basic meters that we're going to start out with. Okay? So take the time, pause your video, go back, write some definitions in, copy this down. Then I'm going to post another video when we're going to actually look at note values and rest values and plug them into this, this music template. Okay? So pause it, take the notes.